Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. So this one's just going to be all about the Fortnite Korra stuff with a little bit of Avatar thrown in. It's obviously Tuesday, which is typically when Fortnite does its sort of kind of like weekly reset. And with that we have sort of the new stuff kind of added into like the game files, so we have some sort of data mining kind of leaks ahead of next week. So I'm going to start off with just stuff that's actually just in the game. So as you can see, I have Fortnite open here. So straight away you can see Korra, of course, is here on the pass, and we'll get into that in a second. But if you just hover over the Korra section, you can see here Korra, and it's coming in 7 days. So even though we've got all these visuals today, you actually can't unlock any of this stuff until next week. But the difference compared to what we had before is that when you click in, we can actually see what all the stuff is. Whereas previously, all we could see was the kind of Korra model here. So this is the stuff that is coming on, I guess, April 2nd. There'll be a bunch of quests, which I'll go through in a second, to unlock all of this stuff kind of one by one. So there's a quest for all these specific items, and then when you complete all those 5, you get Korra, and it's same on the next page. You do a quest to get all this stuff, and then you get the Korra kind of advanced sort of skin at the end. So what do we have here? So first up is a loading screen image, which is actually really cool. You'll note it has the details here. Art by Ko, who of course is the artist who did Turf Wars, the Korra comic graphic novel. So really cool stuff. You can actually look at this kind of more full screen here. Very nice art of kind of book 1 Korra, bending some of the elements here, so that's pretty nice. Loading screen, of course, you know, when you load into a game, you'll see the Korra image. You can set your own one, of course, and there's another one in a second. Next, we have the contrail. So this is obviously as you dive out of the battle bus. You see this as you're kind of skydiving towards the ground. So you can see here, really cool effect actually that they did on this, where it's one element on each limb. So you can see fire and water on the hands, and then earth and air on the feet, and then they spiral up together. I think that's definitely one of the coolest kind of contrails, skydiving effect parts in the game. That feels like one I'll put on and probably won't take off for a pretty long time. Then we have sprays. I almost forget that there are sprays in the game, but yeah, you can put this up on the wall wherever you want to here. It's kind of cool image, of course. Then we have Water Tribe colors as like an item wrap. You can see this if you go through other stuff. You can see it's just the kind of standard Water Tribe colors, different blues, whites, a little bit of kind of gray included here, and you can see it on the different kind of like guns and stuff like that. So cool, but I assume there'll be better item wraps for Avatar. Then we have Waterbenders Battle Fans here, which is kind of interesting. This probably isn't the most like amazing thing, because it's like, does any character actually do stuff like that? But it's kind of cool. So you can sort of see that's the effect of it here. If you want to go full Avatar, there is an Avatar pickaxe. I assume when like the Aang stuff and all the other stuff gets added into the game, there will be better stuff than this. Of course, there is the standard Korra model, obviously, that you can use as a skin here, So pretty nice, the book 1 Korra model, as you can see here. And then if you are into the Lego mode, of course, there is Lego Korra for playing the Fortnite Lego stuff, which is cool. But going into page 2, you can see here, here's the next loading screen. So again, it's art by Ko, but this time it's Korra with the other kind of female kind of main characters for the story this season, which is based around the Greek god. So this is Aphrodite here, this is Medusa over here. I think this is Artemis here, if I remember correctly. I might have that one slightly wrong, but they're obviously highlighting that, I guess, as part of the story. Korra is almost like effectively considered also like a god character effectively because she's the Avatar, so that's kind of cool. So that's part of the second page. Then we have the Korra emoticon here, which is kind of cool. You can see it actually, like, it changes from just Korra to Avatar state, so that's kind of cool. Back bling, Avatar cycle here. This is actually really cool as well. Again, I think there'll be other more interesting back blings as well, but this is just cool for general Avatar stuff, the 4 elements, and I like how they're linked together by the 4 elements as well. Very, very cool. Then we have the Korra glider here. So it's Korra's glider, of course, so it's a pretty cool little model here that they have. It will be interesting to see how the animation on this one goes, because I'm not sure if they actually have an animation for gliders where you're in the kind of gliding position. So I wonder, are you just kind of hanging off the bottom here, or potentially surfing on top of it? We'll see what way it works. Here is the emote. So avatar state emote, which I think is cool, but the one thing I would note is that the other elements go away very quickly, and then it's earth, 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 all the way to the end. So I wonder, will this look maybe slightly better in game or anything like that? But still, it's kind of cool to have that there. Definitely add that to my emote wheel, of course. And then the big kind of super style, I guess, at the end here is this version of Korra. So this is book 4 Korra, when she basically properly restores her connection with Rava. This is basically the end of Korra's kind of recovery arc here, basically from episode 9 of book 4. So it's a bit of a specific pick here, definitely, that they went for this. And what's so interesting about it is that it's obviously Korra's book 4 design, but then they have the Rava symbol on her as well, and the avatar state. I don't think we know for 100% sure if there's kind of toggleable aspects to this, like you might be able to slightly adjust it, because my thoughts are that, what about standard book 4? Like, can we get kind of normally colored Korra without the Rava effect, without the avatar state? Because it's all here, like the different hairstyle, her book 4 outfit. I think people would like that as well. I love that we have the Rava effect stuff going on here, but I'd also like the customization stuff as well, if possible. So very cool stuff at the end here. So yeah, that'll all be coming next week here. So I'll switch back to me on camera here and open up this stuff here. So here is some of the data mining information about this. So first of all, in relation to what I just showed you, how do you actually go about in the game unlocking all of that Korra stuff? So the details, of course, have been added to the game, so we know what they are. These are quests that will be coming next week on April 2nd. So of course, it seems like when you just go straight in, you get the first one for free, it seems like, or else you just have to go into the water and come out of the water or something like that. So pretty basic quest for the first one here. There is a Korra quote as kind of flavor text added in. Just usually these don't really mean anything in relation to what like other cosmetics and stuff like that will be. They're just meant to be flavor text based on the IP. So easy way to get the loading screen here, just emerge from water. To get the avatar contrail, the skydiving effect part, you will have to collect mythic items. So basically, in the current season, what mythic items are is there's an item called Zeus's Thunderbolt, which is a sort of rare, but not exactly super rare item. That will count as one. When they add bending to the game, as you can see here, water bending is coming in with the Korra update. This, I think, will be considered a mythic item. So that's another one. And then also the bosses that are on the map, some of the Greek gods, if you defeat that boss, you will get their special gun, which is a mythic item also. So there's a few ways to do this. It will just depend on how many there are to get the contrail, which is going to be one of the, like I said, the best items that I saw there. And next, to get the spray, what you have to do is damage opponents before the second storm circle. So basically this is like what, damage opponents within the first like 4 or 5 minutes of the game, which isn't really too much of a challenge. It just means that like you have to get a little bit involved in the action somewhat early on. Otherwise that seems very, very easy to do. Next one, to get the wrap, so this is the color for your guns and stuff like that, you just have to mantle, hurdle, and slide during the daytime. So that's basically just go around, do obstacles, hop in or around obstacles and stuff like that. Very, very easy to do and grind out. You just have to make sure it's during the daytime, which at the very least, it'll only take you a game or two, I assume. Depends how much mantling they necessarily want, of course. Then to get the pickaxe, the kind of ice pickaxe, you have to hit the same player with a mythic and a non-mythic weapon. This could be slightly tricky because, of course, it means you have to do decently well in a game that you get your hands on a mythic weapon, but then you have to be careful with how you challenge someone to make sure that you actually, engage it with them enough to hit them with two things. I think the strategy for this is probably going to be when you find an opponent, hit them with your non-mythic weapon first, so just get a shot or two in, and then because the mythics are usually much more powerful, like especially if it's Zeus's Thunderbolt that you have, you maybe want to kind of hit that one as the way to finish off the character. If you do have one of the kind of more standard mythic weapons or water bending, I guess you might be able to just swap back and forth between this and like a shotgun or an AOR. But again, that doesn't seem too bad. But it's probably the trickiest of the first page because you have to do these 5 things to get the Korra skin. But there's nothing, I think, really bad there, obviously. Page 2 is a little bit more complicated. So first of all, eliminate an opponent while below 50 health. That's how you get the second loading screen. So this one, it's very much like when you play games, this will just happen. You'll end up in an engagement where they do damage to you, you just about get the victory, and you'll get this. The problem will probably be trying to grind this out quickly, forcing that situation. It'll probably just happen. It doesn't seem to be an opponent, not multiple. We'll see exactly how it goes. But do keep in mind, you can do fall damage to yourself, and if you get the right height, you can slowly damage yourself to get yourself below 50 health. So early on, you could go around hunting players early on in the game if you're confident with your skills. Otherwise, the assumption would just be that this will happen over time. Next one here, collect or spend bars. So this might be a lot. This is probably the one thing where, if you are coming into Fortnite kind of relatively new because of the Korra and Avatar content, you probably should start playing the game soon. Or immediately today, just so you can start building up the gold bars that you get over the course of the game. So you get these on the map by kind of looting cash registers. There's specific vaults where you can get gold bars directly from. When you defeat enemies, you get gold bars. You can hold up to 5,000. And most stuff that you buy in the game is you spend multiples of hundreds. So just to make sure you get this done in time and you don't have to spend lots of time grinding gold, you should probably get yourself up to a good amount of gold ahead of this, just so you are prepared, of course. So that is one of the things you might need some setup time for, especially because of what one of the other ones is. Next, travel distance while on the train. This will get you the back bling, which is another one of the better items. So the idea is on the map from last season and also this season, there is a train tracks where the train goes around. It just continuously, you can't stop it. You can land on the train. There are some special kind of loot boxes on the train, and then there's a timed kind of loot thing that you have to crack open. I think after the first couple of weeks of last season, people stopped overly focusing on the train. So within a game or two, you should be able to pretty comfortably land on the train and stay on it for pretty much as long as you need to. Even if you find it later on in the game, if you have enough health, you can follow the train into the storm if it's going that way. So this should be relatively easy to do unless the distance is kind of huge. But I doubt it's going to be too crazy, but still. That should be, I think, relatively easy to do. 4, hire characters or revive squad mates. So if you are going to play the game with friends, this is an easy way to get the glider. Otherwise, just hire characters. So this is this system where there are NPCs on the map, and you can go up to them and talk to them. And for a certain amount of gold, you can just hire them to be your sort of follower, where they shoot and give you items and stuff like that. There's enough characters on the map where you can pretty comfortably find them, but again, you will need some gold, and if this is hire 5 or 10 characters, you're going to need a couple thousand here to do this and also spend the bars. So again, definitely do some grinding before the event next week, because you don't want to just start playing the game for the first time next week, start on 0 gold and have to build up to a lot while doing all this other stuff. And then what could be one of the trickier ones, this really depends on your skill level, earn or pick up a victory crown. So you obviously get a victory crown for winning a game of Fortnite. So, beating the other 99 players and winning the game. But when you get your victory crown, the next game you go into, you have that victory crown. So if you're killed in the next game, you drop that crown as an item on the map, and if another player picks it up, they have a victory crown and can get themselves the like crowned victory royale in the next game. So the idea here is you basically have to win a game or kill an enemy who won their previous game. So there are multiple ways to do this, but you do need to be able to take out players, and the idea is that this is probably the more skill-intensive one, where you have to at least be comfortable enough to win a game of Fortnite or defeat a player who is capable of winning a game of Fortnite. And this one could take a while. Like, my success rate in the game is that I win roughly 1 in every 10 games. So this one could take a while, and again, you have to finish the complete page 2 quests to get the Korra book 4 Rava skin. So that's that situation there. And then some other stuff. First of all, like I already showed you, waterbending I think is going to come into the game as the mythic next week with Korra. That makes a lot of sense because they're highlighting collect mythic items, because I guess this will be the first avatar mythic introduced into the game. So there's that. And then the other thing, I think this is more of a setup for, I'm guessing this will probably also start next week as well, is that there is going to be the introduction of Aang onto the map at some point. I don't think we know the specific details of this, but what seems to be the case is that this ice kind of island with the boy in the iceberg stuff, Aang and Appa in the sphere of ice, this is going to start relatively far out to sea on the map, and over the weeks it will come in closer to the main landmass and then eventually like attach itself onto the side of the map. It does seem like it will be able to be interacted with the whole way through. This probably is coming next week into the game, because it's like 3 weeks to progress through it. And there's going to be like intro quests that basically tell you to go to like the iceberg, basically. So this will be pretty exciting to see what exactly happens here. Obviously, it's a new point of interest on the map, and I guess there's probably a good chance that maybe you'll be able to get waterbending from this location or something like that, depending on if you can talk to Aang in the ice. You might be able to maybe even buy that from him, depending on what way it works. But just cool that there's clearly this sense that something pretty big is going to happen in the game from next week onwards. There wasn't any of the data mining stuff about the Aang and other ATLA stuff. Like, I don't think we know who the other characters are that are going to be the skins. So that probably is stuff that will be added into the game maybe next week ahead of when it actually launches. Because I think the assumption is that obviously it's the 2nd of April for all the Korra stuff, but that the Aang kind of event pass is coming on April 9th for 1,000 V-Bucks. And that will get you the Aang skin, and there'll be a similar kind of track to the Korra one. It's just more of a kind of separate event premium track that will have specific quests that you have to do to go through it. And then in the item shop, there'll be other ATLA characters. We don't know who they are, but I think we know there's at least probably 2 or 3 of them coming. My assumption would probably be that, yes, you probably have to have Katara, Zuko, Sokka would make sense, but a lot depends on like if there's going to be a wave 2 or 3 or of this, and what way they split up all of this stuff. Katara and Zuko seem pretty much ideal. I assume they probably want to do Toph just based on the popularity, but we'll see what happens. And then they'll obviously, after Korra, there'll be a little bit of a demand for Korra stuff, and we'll see if there's any more of that stuff that they add in, of course. So yeah, all this stuff starts basically next week, but some of it, like the Aang stuff, is not going to be until the week afterwards. But like I said, if you are going to participate in this, my suggestion would be to download Fortnite now if you haven't already. Start playing just so you're familiar with the map, what the different mythics are, how to get all this stuff. Find out where all the NPC kind of characters are to like hire characters and stuff like that. It'll make it a lot easier for you when the quests do become available. Get used to like landing on the train and stuff like that. Become good enough at the game to eliminate players on low health. Just all this basic stuff of just getting familiar with the game. And of course, building up a decent amount of gold so that you can do all the stuff that actually requires gold. Spending bars, gold bars, and hiring characters. and potentially getting good enough at the game to win, of course. So yeah, there is the video with the kind of preview of next week's Fortnite stuff. I will probably attempt to do some sort of a video or maybe stream. It depends on what way the timing goes next week, when it of course launches. But I would like to do a decent amount of gameplay about this, going through the process of actually like unlocking this and seeing if I can win some stuff, and then playing as Korra with the Korra skin, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are. How excited are you for Avatar cross Fortnite, Korra cross Fortnite? But otherwise, that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.